Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Panchapakeshan from University of Delhi. Today we are going to discuss about the module line width. It is part of the paper Radiation Theory in the course on physics. After studying this module, you should be able to understand the large values of scattering cross sections or infinities arising in the scattering process or formulae obtained from Kramer and Heisenberg. Learn that the origin of this difficulty is related to the neglect of the radiation reaction. Learn what is the analog of damping force in quantum mechanics. Learn how the line width capital gamma includes the probability for all processes that lead to decay of an electron in that state or energy level. Learn briefly what is the energy level shift also due to the spontaneous emission. The expression for Kramer's and Heisenberg formula became very large and approached infinity as the photon energy approached the value of omega IA, which is equal to EI minus EA. This is sometimes referred to as the blowing up of the cross section or the expression. This is also called resonance. The blowing up at resonance can be rectified if we realize that it is due to the neglect of radiation damping or radiation reaction. We have to take account of the change in a state or energy level of an atom due to absorption or emission of radiation or photons. When we do this, we find the energy level acquires an imaginary part which gives the discrete level a width. The line is no longer monochromatic, but it has got a width. We study the line width in this module. This is also related to the assumption made in the time-dependent perturbation theory. We assumed that the atom is in one state with probability of 1, while other states have 0 probability. But as atoms start absorbing photon and getting excited, the excited state will have finite occupation probability. This gives it an imaginary part. It will seem that this imaginary part is related to the total probability per unit time of all possible process of the decay of that particular state. The quantum theory of radiation damping was first developed by V.F. Weisskopf and E.P. Wigner. In section 2, we discuss radiation reaction. In section 3, we obtain a relation for the line shift in frequency or wavelength. In section 4, we discuss the necessary change in the initial condition of time-dependent perturbation theory to allow for radiation reaction or damping. Radiation reaction. The Kramer-Heisenberg formula for differential cross-section derived in module 11 involves the term capital En minus capital EA minus omega in the denominator of one term. So if the photon energy omega becomes equal to capital En minus capital EA, the differential cross-section becomes infinite and hence makes the theory inconsistent and invalid, as infinities may not occur in nature. The scattering cross-section becomes very large and goes through a sharp maximum where omega is nearly equal to En minus Ea. This phenomena has been observed in some processes and is known as resonance scattering or resonance fluorescence. The reason for this large value lies in the fact that while introducing intermediate state, we assume that the intermediate state is a stationary state and does not change during the interaction time. We did not take into account the instability of the state En due to spontaneous absorption and emission of photons. The intermediate state has a certain probability of decay by photon emission and therefore has a finite lifetime. According to principles of quantum mechanics, this results in the intermediate level En getting an imaginary part related to a small but finite width. The energy levels can be written in the form En minus I gamma, where capital gamma is the total probability per unit time of all possible processes of decay in the state. Just as in classical mechanics, we have a damping force. In quantum mechanics, the addition of this term capital gamma in En due to decay by emission plays a role analogous to the damping force. Hence, it is known as radiation reaction or radiation damping. In the next section, we shall see how to calculate capital gamma, the width of the spectral line. The line shift for a two-level system. We start with the Schrödinger equation of motion, I psi dot is equal to capital H psi. We write the Hamiltonian as H equal to H naught plus Hi, with Hf being a small perturbation as earlier. We use the orthonormal set of eigenfunctions of H0 to write a general form for psi. The eigenfunction un of x vector with the eigenvalues En satisfy the equation H naught operating on un and exponential minus I Ent leads to capital En into un into exponential minus I Ent. For psi, we assume the following form. Psi is equal to summation over n of Cnt unx exponential minus I Ent, where Cnt, the coefficients, are time dependent. The left-hand side of equation 1 becomes I psi dot is equal to summation over n I Cn dot plus En into Cn into exponential minus I Ent whole multiplied by un into exponential minus Int. Also, right-hand side of equation 3.1 becomes psi equal to H naught plus Hi into psi is equal to En into Cn plus Hi into Cn whole multiplied by un into exponential minus I Ent. Equating the left-hand side and right-hand side, we have now I Cn dot plus En Cn into capital Un x vector exponential minus I Ent is equal to En Cn plus Hi Cn into capital Un x vector into exponential minus I Ent. Multiplying both sides of the above equation by star x vector exponential minus Imt and integrating over x vector, we get, after using orthogonality properties of capital Unx, ICm dot plus EMCm is equal to EMCm plus summation over n Cn into integral over star Hi Un d cubed x exponential I Em minus Ent, or I into Cm dot is equal to summation over n Cn into Hi as a matrix element between states m and n into exponential I Em minus En into t, where Himn is integral of d cubed x star x Hi capital Un x vector. Writing the time dependence Hi explicitly, Hi 0 into exponential plus or minus I omega t depending on the operators A or A dagger respectively, and considering a two-level system as shown in the figure with A at the higher energy and B at the lower energy, I Ca dot is equal to summation over B CBT Hi 0 matrix element between A and B exponential I Ea minus Eb plus or minus omega into the time t. In equation 3.9, the summation is over ranges of frequencies of emitting or absorbing photon. For the time derivative of Cb, we have from equation 3.7, I into CB dot is equal to CA into matrix element of HI between A and B into exponential I EA minus EB plus minus omega times T. Hence, integrating over 310, we have CB is equal to 1 over I integral from 0 to T of the matrix element of HI between B and A, CA at the function of T prime, exponential I omega minus omega AB into T prime, where omega AB is equal to EA minus EB. Substituting this equation in 3.9, we have ddt of CA is equal to minus sum over B, matrix element of HI between A and B, HI between B and A, integrated over 0 to T, CA of T prime, exponential minus I omega AB minus omega into T prime minus T dt prime. The last equation 3.12 is an integro differential equation for CAT. To solve it, we assume for CAT the form CAT is equal to exponential minus capital gamma times T divided by 2. Putting HI0 matrix element between A and B, HI0 matrix element between A and B and A equal to HI0 BA mod square, and substituting 313 into 312, we get minus capital gamma by 2 exponential minus capital gamma T by 2 is equal to minus sum over B HI between B and A mod squared exponential I omega AB minus omega times T integral over 0 to T exponential minus I omega AB minus omega minus I into capital gamma by 2 into T prime dt prime. This is equal to 1 over I HI matrix element whole squared exponential minus capital gamma T by 2 minus exponential I omega AB minus omega into T whole divided by omega AB minus omega minus I capital gamma by 2. In evaluating capital gamma to order 1, let us expand equation 314 in powers of gamma and retain the lowest term. For that, we neglect terms containing linear term in gamma, that is, we take gamma equal to 0 on right hand side, and expanding left hand side, we get gamma by 2 is equal to I summation over states B, matrix element of HI between A and B mod square into 1 minus exponential I omega AB minus omega into T divided by omega AB minus omega. Now we take the value of T to be large, that is, T is much larger compared to 1 over omega AB, but time T is less than 1 over capital gamma. So T is between these two limits. We use the formula 1 minus exponential I omega AB minus omega into T divided by omega AB minus omega equal to principal value part of 1 over omega AB minus omega minus I pi into delta of omega AB minus omega. Here P refers to the principal part, that is value excluding the singularity. So equation 315 becomes gamma by 2 is equal to I summation over B matrix element of AB of HI whole squared into principal value part of 1 over omega AB minus omega minus I pi delta function omega AB minus omega. Then the real part of gamma by 2 is equal to summation B matrix element squared pi into delta function, and imaginary part of gamma by 2 is equal to the principal value part of HI0 matrix element squared divided by omega AB minus omega. Thus the imaginary part of gamma corresponds to the line shift or shift in the frequency. We shall not consider it here, but study it later when we study Lamb shift. As summation over B corresponds to summation over various values of ranges of omega, so replacing summation by integration, we have from equation 318 real part of gamma by 2 is equal to pi integral of matrix element squared into delta function of omega AB minus omega into the density of states rho omega and then d small omega into d capital omega equal to pi into matrix element squared into rho of omega AB d capital omega, which is equal to the transition probability from state A to B divided by 2 from the golden rule formula. Therefore, real part of gamma is equal to omega A going to B is the total transition probability. Taking the equation 311 for CBT and using the assumption 313, we have CBT is equal to 1 over I, matrix element of HI between B and A, into integral from 0 to t of dt prime into exponential minus I into omega AB minus omega minus I gamma by 2 t prime. This is equal to H matrix element divided by I into exponential minus I omega AB minus omega minus I gamma by 2 into t minus 1 divided by minus I or omega AB minus omega minus I gamma by 2. So, CB as t approaches infinity mod squared can be written as HI0 matrix element between B and A mod squared divided by omega AB minus omega whole squared plus gamma squared by 4. I omega is equal to summation over states B CB mod squared into omega. This is the intensity in omega frequency. This is integral of CB squared omega into rho omega into d capital omega, and this is integral of matrix element squared omega rho omega d capital omega divided by omega AB minus omega whole squared plus gamma squared by 4. Using equation 320, I omega can be expressed in terms of gamma, and we find I omega AB is equal to 2 over pi into omega AB divided by real part of gamma. This is equation 324. It is clear from equation 322 that state B has a maximum when EB minus EA is equal to omega. CB mod square as a function of the incident photon energy has the familiar Lorentz shape. For gamma much smaller than omega AB, we have the intensity capital I of omega AB plus real gamma by 2 is equal to real gamma by 2 pi into omega AB plus real gamma by 2 divided by 2 into real gamma by 4 whole squared. This is of the order of omega AB divided by pi into real gamma. Now, lifetime, which is 1 over transition probability from A to B, is equal to the inverse of the transition probability. The uncertainty in the energy level delta E is given by delta E into delta T of the order of 1. As delta T is of the order of tau, delta E will be the order of 1 by tau. This is equal to omega transition probability going from A to B, and it is of the order of real part of gamma. So, real part of gamma is intrinsic or natural line width. There can be in addition a Doppler width due to motion, which will be added to this one. Effect of radiation damping on initial conditions. We have taken capital C of capital A at time t as equal to exponential minus capital gamma into t by 2 in equation 313. In time-dependent perturbation theory, we had taken C capital A of t is equal to 1 at time t equal to 0, and CA of t equal to 0 at time t equal to infinity. This meant that radiation reaction or damping at finite time was being neglected. Equation 313 brings in the effect of radiation damping and removes the physical cross-section blowing up or going to infinity. The value of gamma that is introduced is seen to be related to the intrinsic width of the spectral line. There may be additional shifts or widths due to other reasons like Doppler shift and redshift due to cosmological expansion. We did not consider in detail the imaginary part of gamma. This is related to a shift in the frequency or wavelength of the spectral line itself. This shift, called lamp shift, is divergent, and it was not possible to calculate it till the whole theory of renormalization was developed after 1948. This will be discussed in the next module. So students, let us summarize what we have learnt in this module. It is seen that when back reaction due to radiation is taken into account, the energy level gets modified by the addition of an imaginary part, which gives it a width and a width to the spectral line. The spectral line is no longer truly monochromatic. We have discussed the case of a simplified two-level system to get the relation between the width of the line and its lifetime. The imaginary part of gamma corresponds to a shift of the frequency of the spectral line. We have not considered it in detail here. It is related to the very important observed effect of lamp shift and will be considered in the next module. Thank you.